Hey guys, so it looks like the unique equipment that's coming out tomorrow for the Legends limited character that they teased yesterday is in fact going to be for Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 3 Goku. This is, I think, a great pick. This was my number 2 pick in terms of who I wanted to get the equipment. We, of course, at least I wanted Piccolo to get it, Orange Piccolo to get it the most, but this is a very good pick. And this is a character that I think is just old enough to the point where like he can actually make a pretty big impact depending on how they design this equipment for him. Like, again, if they gave like Blue Gogeta a unique equipment, they would have had to have basically given him like extra unique abilities on the equipment for him to be good enough to be ran. Like that, he's just he needs a Zenkai. He's way too old. But for this guy, I mean, this guy can still do good damage with his ultimate, his Dragon Fist. So we'll see how they handle this, but yeah, we have unique equipment for Legends Limited Super Saiyan 3 Goku is coming soon. Get this powerful unique equipment and aim for greater strength. So I mentioned this in my, I haven't pulled up here. I mentioned this in my video yesterday, but I'll mention it one more time. This Dragon Fist Goku basically has the same type of unique gauge as LF Purple Cell, the old LF Purple Cell. And again, they fill their unique gauges up differently. Cell has to charge Ki to get his unique gauge filled up, and this Dragon Fist Goku has to attack a bunch of times to get his gauge filled up. But they both suffer from the same issue, which is that they take way too long to fill up. Honestly, I think Goku's is probably even worse than Cell's in terms of how long it takes to fill up. And the problem with this Goku's unique gauge design is you have to basically invest the first portion of the fight with using this character instead of using other characters that are going to do better for you, right? So like, let's just, for example, say you're running the movies team and you're running this Goku, you're running Ultra Janemba because you have to, because he's the most broken character in the game by far right now. And you're running, I don't know, like Pan or some third character to like help, or I guess Orange Piccolo works. You're running, you have to run Orange Piccolo because you need a green. So you're running Orange Piccolo, this guy, well, I mean, you'd have 2 greens, but this guy, Orange Piccolo, and Janemba is your team. Let's just say you start a combo with Orange Piccolo. Would you rather switch into Dragon Fist to continue the combo, or would you rather switch into Ultra Janemba to continue the combo? The answer is you'd rather switch into Ultra Janemba because you want to win, right? So like your sacrifice, the opportunity cost of using this Goku and deciding to combo with this Goku over like a character like Janemba or Ultra Vegito Blue or Goku and Frieza is that you're losing out on just doing a lot more damage and getting a lot more progress in the fight when you're choosing this character to invest in his unique gauge for later. Of course, it could end up paying off later for you if you fill up this guy's unique gauge and you one-shot somebody later on with the Dragon Fist. That could be that could be a good return on your investment later on, but it does come with a risk in that this character just straight up dies later on. So I think the way that this character's gauge is built, where you have to put heavy investment into this character early on for him to pay dividends later on, it's not conducive to a character that's gonna age well. So that's where we are with this Dragon Fist Goku. And with that in mind, Cell kind of fit the same bill. So this is the equipment for Cell. Cell's third slot. 35% to own unique gauge when battle starts. I would actually argue that Dragon Fist needs a bigger boost than this. I would say 40%, 45% would be nice. If Dragon Fist just started with a 45% gauge buff and he just started the fight with a 45% to his gauge being filled up upon the battle starting, that would be enough, I think, for this guy, because at that point you would only need like 1.5 combos, or maybe even just 1 combo, because remember, this guy does actually get covered all and switch in. I think it's the first 2 times he switches in. Let me see if I could find this. This, right? Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. 30 Ki, 30% damage, and then applies buff effect, nullifies enemy special actions that activate when changing cover for 10 counts, activates twice. The reason why he even has this to begin with is because they needed to give you some kind of tool to be able to chain his combos together, because you need to fill his unique gauge by using cards, right? So if he would start with the gauge at like 40%, 45%, that would be enough to allow this character to not really struggle to fill the gauge up enough, because again, it would really just be 1 combo. Now, this might sound crazy, But I actually think that Janemba's presence, even though he's blue, could actually end up hurting this guy, depending on how they design the equipment. Because if this character needs to combo for long periods of time, you just don't get to do that in this game right now. Even if you have this, right? We're kind of... I don't want to say we're kind of power creeping cover null at this point, but we have now gotten, you know, multiple characters that have ways of dealing and stopping combos against characters that have cover null. And I mean, Janemba's presence alone sort of hampers this guy's ability. Like, imagine you switch into this Goku and the enemy switches into Janemba, and like, you're like, okay, I'm ready to fill up his unique gauge. And then you realize that you can't attack the enemy. you can't click cards on this character because Janemba has his gauge active and you only have strikes, or you can't get a combo started on him with a blast or whatever it is because he's blast armor. So I actually think that Janemba could pose a problem to this Goku, like, even though he's getting cover null in terms of filling up his gauge because he needs to attack, right? It's just very, very hard right now to chain together combos because of Janemba. Janemba has just changed. Janemba has actually had like the biggest influence on this game probably the entire year. Maybe. Collectively, it's probably 17, but Janemba, as of right now, like this sudden jerk change that we've seen with Janemba releasing in the meta, I think has been bigger than any other single release we've seen this year. Okay, so what does this guy actually need on his equipment? Let's just quickly look at what he's doing here. So his main ability, I mean, it's really good. I mean, this is probably the best part about the character. When you get a full gauge, what you do is you just drop combo with this character into the Dragon Fist, and then you're getting, assuming you have your full gauge active, you have a raw ult. This is what makes Janemba so strong. But well, one of the things that makes Janemba so strong, by the way, is because he's landing a raw ult with no combo compensation. This Goku's doing the same thing, right? Because you drop the combo, you remove the enemy's vanishing gauge, and that is what allows you to hit the ult without any combo compensation. You get your vanishing gauge back. You are going type neutral. I think it's on. Is it on the ultimate that goes type neutral? Let me just see. Yeah. He's going type neutral on the ult. He's doing minus 100% enemy sustained damage cut, 40% ultimate damage, and then he's getting extra damage from his main ability as well. And I guess card draw speed, which I don't really know if this really matters that often, because a lot of times you're just going to be using this as like a one-shot mechanic. I guess it's nice to have this, though. 90% damage is kind of standard, I think, even right now, but then characters get like other buffs throughout their unique abilities here. 60% is kind of standard for when he came out. Card draw speed is fine. He gets, again, extra card draw from his main ability. Gets key here, damage, and then he's a build-up character. He gets 10% damage for 10 counts whenever he uses a card, and he's building up his ultimate damage here. So honestly, he's getting 30% ultimate damage here, and he's getting 40% from here. Yeah, this is why his ultimate hits so hard. Honestly, after this guy gets his unique equipment, honestly, no matter how they build it, it's going to be rough for any character, I would imagine, to survive this, right? So what I want to do now is I want to shift over to the game, and I want to just quickly look at some of the recent unique equipments we've received, even though none of them are actually recent. Like, this is the most recent one we've gotten, and it's 10 months old. But this is the merged Zamasu equip. So we have 35% to both base offenses in slot 1, 15% HP, and then 45% of defenses in slot 2. And then he's getting 20% damage and a bunch of healing here. I would actually say that if Dragon Fist Goku gets this exact equipment, but let's just say we replace the healing with like a, I don't know, he charges his gauge by 40% when the match begins. If Dragon Fist got an equipment like this, I probably would say it's not going to be good enough. I'd probably say it's not going to be good enough. Next, we have Future Gohan. I mean, they're completely different characters. I don't know if I really want to even compare Future Gohan to this guy. What's Bardock's look like? Bardock's is 35% of defenses in slot 1. Oh my god, yeah, this is crazy. 35% to both offenses, and then 40% to inflicted damage. Now, of course, we have seen Zenkai character unique equipment that have way eclipsed the 40% damage number. We have characters getting like 70, 80% damage now from equipment. But for an LF character to have 40, remember, Bardock is a character that's going to Zenkai in the future. For a character like this to have 40% just straight up damage inflicted on his on one of his slots here. Yeah, that's strong. 15% HP, and then the ability in slot 3. So if you look at this equipment here, and like, let's just say they replace the healing on the bottom here. Like, let's just say it's 15% HP, and then they just copy and paste Cell's equipment effect here, which is charges unique gauge by, let's just say 35, because we've already seen them do that. 35% is how much he charges at the start of the battle. If you do that, I actually feel like this is probably good enough to allow Goku to be pretty damn good right now. The problem with Goku that you're going to run into, no matter really what they do here, is he's going to be really, really squishy. He's not going to be tanky. He's not going to be tough to deal with defensively. But guess what? There is no character in the game that can tank at all right now. There is not a single character in the game that exists that is able to tank against Ultra Janemba. There is not a single one. I don't care if you're green. I don't care who you are. There's not a Blue Zamasu. No, there's no character in the game that can tank Blue Janemba. There's zero. This Goku is not going to change that. Yes, I'll have type advantage. That'll be nice. But, you know, there's other characters too. Like, this is probably one of the fastest metas we've ever seen in this game's history. And it's not even close. It's so ridiculous. This meta is... Matches are over in like 20 counts, 30 counts. It's crazy. But I think this would be a good equip for Goku. Maybe I would say bump this up to 50% in slot 1, 50% strike defense, 50% blast defense. Obviously slot 2 is really good. I would actually be pretty surprised if they kept the 40% damage in slot 2. That's a lot. 40% is, remember, this is a character that's gonna Zenkai in the future, but they did it for Bardock, so maybe they'll do it for Goku as well. And then again, slot 3. This is the most important thing that they must do this for Goku. If they don't give Goku this effect, I'm tempted to say he's just automatically going to suck. He needs to have some kind of effect that impacts how fast his gauge fills up. Whether it's just straight up giving him an extra, bit of it charged up at the beginning of the fight. What if he gets what if his gauge fills up twice as fast with this unique equipment, right? Like, let's just say the effect on slot 3 says fills own unique gauge, or fills own unique gauge twice as fast per strike and blast card use or something. Something else, by the way, that I actually didn't talk about, which we need to. Let me go back to Chrome here. Where is Chrome? There it is. One thing I really don't understand about this Goku's unique gauge. Where's the description here? Here we go. Slightly charges own unique gauge every time this character uses a strike or a blast card while on the battlefield. Who has the same style of unique gauge as this Goku? Anybody know? Anybody want to comment on that? Let's pull them up. Well, there's a few characters that have this now, but the one that comes to mind that I'm going to directly compare this Goku to is Beast Gohan. They're not that far apart in terms of when they released, right? Beast Gohan came out in October. Dragon Fist came out in June. They're 4 months apart. That's not that old. Like Dragon Fist was not that old when this Beast Gohan came out. Let me see if I can find the description here. Charges a unique gauge every time this character uses an arts card. While they're on the battlefield, which means that Beast Gohan fills up his unique gauge via blue card and green card and ultimate activations, and Goku only does it via strikes and blasts. That is actually like a major difference, I think. So not only would I want them to include some bonus charging via maybe he charges up twice as fast with his arts cards. Maybe he starts with a certain portion of his unique gauge already filled up. I think in addition to that, they should also allow this character, and put this in the unique equipment somewhere, to be able to charge his unique gauge with any arts card used and not just strikes or blasts. Because I remember with this character, there were definitely matches that I had using this guy, even when he was like new, where I think I might have even just like straight up lost the fight because I wasn't able to build up his unique gauge. But it would have been built up if he would have been able to charge it with blues and greens as well. So that, I think, does actually make a significant difference. But there we go. We are getting the unique equipment for Dragon Fist here. I would be interested in hearing what you guys have to say about this. What did you want to see on the unique equipment? Again, for me, by far, the biggest thing they must do is have some kind of improvement to how fast this character fills up his unique gauge. It's a 100% mandatory adjustment. They have to make it, or this character's not going to be good. I'm pretty confident in that. I mean, they could give him like 150% damage increase, and like, sure, he'll be good, right? Of course, but that sort of defeats the whole theme of the character, I think. So let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.